Hey guys, this is Alex with Tekkies. So in this video I'm going to show you how to deal with a Xbox One, this is the OG, that sometimes reads games and sometimes doesn't. So we already replaced the disk drive on this. Still has the same issues, the disk drive isn't the problem. The one common factor is the drive board, because you have to keep the original drive board with the original motherboard. So sometimes when you put a disk in it reads, and sometimes when you put a disk in nothing happens. So that's typically associated with the dusty sensor that's actually located on the board itself that you have to swap out. So I'm going to take this apart and I'll show you the board in just a minute. So the first thing that tipped me off to this is you can see how dusty the console is inside. Run my finger across it and it looks pretty nasty. I don't know if it's focused.
Yeah, we can see it's dirty.
It's really thirsty. It's really dirty inside. So we're going to take the drive out, those two connectors. Don't need that anymore. So you gotta pull out, out to the side on both of these at the same time. Pull that off. At the bottom there's 4 screws for the Phillips one for these.
So you remove the lid.
Okay, so it's really important to do this delicately with both hands. Evenly lift up on that. The other ones aren't nearly as delicate. Cut.
Bless you.
Thank you.
So there's 3 ribbons to disassemble.
Yep, there's one there, and then one over here.
And what kind of tool do we need here to remove this board in your hand there?
This is a screwdriver.
Regular Phillips? Okay.
Phillips one.
From the I Trusty iFixit kit?
Yep.
And there's a picture of the iFixit kit, which is awesome.
So there is one screw over here. I just took that one out. There's one here. There's one here.
Now also be careful because there are 2 wires right there in the back of the board that are soldered on the board.
Yes, there's these 2 wires, which is for the drive motor.
So you don't want to break those. So now we're going to... Alex is going to explain here.
Okay, so we can see on here there are these 2 things.
Zoom in here.
Yeah, let me try and...
Okay.
That and that.
What are those?
So those are actually IR sensors, or infrared sensors. You can see the bottoms of them there. And so sometimes there's dirt and dust that accumulates on those. You can tell I'm getting kind of stuffy from those. So take a Q-tip and some isopropyl alcohol. You just want to go over the sensors a couple times. Then take the dry side, dry them off. Remember not to push too hard. These have been known to break off the back of the board.
So those could be dirty, they could be damaged or not functional and may need to be swapped out. Here we're just doing the cleaning first on these, but it is possible that maybe one of those are bad and causing your problems too. We actually need to replace that sensor.
Okay. So there's a little hole here. This little circle here. And then there's this hole here. You can see there's a sensor down there. Or I'm sorry, no, that's an IR emitter. There's another one down there. So you want to make sure that there's nothing in that hole that's blocking it.
And you're cleaning both these also?
So yes, I'm going to be cleaning both of these also. So down in there, and then right down there. So we don't need to desolder these, but it is helpful just to get them out of the way. So that's what I'm going to be doing right here. So we're going to take our Q-tip, put it down a little bit. And so for this sensor, just go down, twist it around a little bit. Take the dry side to dry it off. That one's good. For this one here, it's a little tricky. So if you want to take this board out, you need to take this plastic piece out. To take this one out, you need to take this off. It's a whole deal. So if you guys don't want to have to do that to clean this one there, I have a little eyedropper here. If you guys don't have an eyedropper, I'd recommend not doing this part. I drop a little bit of alcohol in the hole, then
use it. You can have air to dry it out and let it air out for a little bit.
Okay, so you guys can use pressurized or canned air for this. I'm going to be using an air gun for this. Okay, so that should be about good. Okay, so to put this back in, there's a little lip here. You need to make sure this slides under it. If you put it on top like that, it's going to start bulging up. So I recommend putting it in like that. Good. Got this first.
Put your lid in.
Okay, so you're going to put this cover back on. You want to make sure that this doesn't snag anything. So take your time with it.
And the ribbon cable up front.
Yep. Make sure there's nothing in the back. Now that that's back together, I can put this board back in. So it goes in like this. Make sure you have the board underneath this little plastic lip here. If it's on top of this, it'll start bulging up and you risk some of the taller components like that transistor or that MOSFET over there just short out against the top case. So make sure these two wires are above the board if you did take the board off.
Reinserting that one.
This one is a little easier to do by hand. Those tweezers. Okay, so that's all good. So now we gotta put all three of the screws back in. So there's one there, one over there, one over there. Okay. If you did take the wires off, you may have noticed that there's a little B and a little R right next to them. So the B is for black, R is for red. So I'm going to put these wires right back where they're labeled. Make this one look a little bit prettier. Make sure those are tucked down. Let's do one last.
Do you clean those off with alcohol and you flex this on there?
You can. It doesn't make too much of a difference, mostly aesthetic. So you can just use a Q-tip for that.
Awesome. Just looking nice and clean and professional. Okay, so in this next one you're going to do here, after you're doing this here, he's going to put the lid back on.
Do you want to try and catch something that I did, though?
What do you guys think that he did wrong? Put in the comments. Or missed.
The lip. I was telling you guys about that. So you can kind of see how this part of the board is higher up.
Yep, see it there?
And it's all loose. So you can do this after the fact, too. It's kind of janky. You can maneuver it around like that.
And you see the lip is there?
Yep.
Okay.
So now, not only is it secured and stuff, it is actually a little bit lower down in the chassis. Because they have no protection against this. So...
It's very important. Now the foam piece here
goes on the front.
Goes on the front.
So put it on like that. So on the sides, you'll notice there's two of these things here. Those little fangs, almost. You want to make sure that they go inside. So on the other side here, if you take off this little sticker, you would see the same thing.
Remove the sticker peeling from the video, please.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so it's back together.
Okay. So make sure that's inside.
On both sides.
Yep. And we can put the screws back in. Doesn't make too much of a difference what order you put the screws in.
4 screws.
You're ready to put it back in. You'll see this little prong and you'll see this little thing here. Want to make sure that they line up like that. And there's this peg here, that peg there. They go in those 2 slots. So like that. Plug in the SATA connector and the power connector. So when you wiggle it back and forth like this, it shouldn't move very much. That's how you know you got them in the right location. And let's go take this over to the test area. Okay. I'm going to put this disc in. You can probably see up there.
Those are good sounds.
On the TV.
And it's loading. Alright. So there you guys have it. Fix the intermittent read issues.
None of this would have been possible without these Kit Kats.
You can tell it's his favorite drink. Favorite food, excuse me.
Kit Kats are not a drink, Brian.